I mentioned to you his famous disciple, Dr. Ishar Singh, who brought his father tied up on a cot and got him initiated. But the other story, which is more poignant from my point of view, more subtle, was that the great master was doing his satsangs, he was doing his discourses in the dera only, and that was part-time when he would come. He was still working in the government. He took premature retirement at the age 50. Then he settled down in the dera. And the first time he made a tour outside of the dera to give a discourse was again in Kapurthala on the invitation of this Dr. Ishar Singh. But at that time there were two rich people living in that town. One was a professor, Professor Bhatnagar, who had a big house there. And the second was Diwan Daryai Lal, about whom I spoke yesterday. They had big houses, and when they heard that great master has accepted the invitation of this poor Dr. Ishar Singh, who lived in a small little room, a little veda, a little courtyard outside, where even the cows will come and leave their pathis or something, not very clean place even, that Ishar Singh has invited, they went and they said, you can use my car. Ishar Singh said, yes, use your car to bring the great master and I will get the place cleaned. So he got all the sevadars, all satsangis, come clean up the place. First time master is coming out of the dera and he'll come to Kapurthala and visit my house. So Professor Bhatnagar and Daryai Lal took one of the bigger cars and went to the dera to bring the master. And great master came with them. Ishar Singh is cleaning up the place. His wife Maya is helping. Many satsangis are helping him. And his house was in a small lane in the beginning of Kapurthala town. When the car came, all the satsangis were standing there outside with their hands folded, that now the car will turn into this lane and go to Ishar Singh's house. The car never turned there because Professor and Diwan, they said, Master, Ishar Singh has only a small little hut, a small little room in which he lives, and we have made arrangements in our houses. Whichever you like, you can stay there. So the car went straight, and the Sangat, waiting for him near Ishar Singh's house, said, Ishar Singh was mistaken that he'll come to his house. The master is gone. And they came and told Ishar Singh, you know, he's not coming to your house, he's just gone to the house of those rich people. Ishar Singh said, no, he can't do that. He is my yar, he is my friend, more than my master. He will come to my house. They said, don't be a fool, he's already gone. And what was happening in the meantime? The car drove to Professor Bhatnagar's house, and master got out, and all family members, they bowed to him, and they said, Master, we have a room reserved for you here, and shall we take out your bags, your luggage? He said, no, leave the luggage in the car. So they thought maybe he'll go to the Daryai Lal's house now. So after some little chit-chat with those people, he got back into the car, and they drove to the Daryai Lal's house. There they said, Master, we have a room reserved for you here also. And it's a little better situation here. We have big lawn for satsang, and all the people are gathering. We have called them to have satsang here. You will give darshan and satsang. So master got down and talked to them, and he said, leave the luggage. He said, Master, these are the two best places. Where do you want to stay? And great master says, you know that poor Ishar Singh? He is waiting for me. They said, Master, he doesn't have any place. It's only one small room. He said, but he lives there. I can also live there. But Master, he has no bathroom. He says, then how does he use bathroom? He says, he takes a bucket on top of his roof and he just pours water on his head. And that's all he does. He says, for one day I can also do that. Master, there's no arrangement there. We have all the arrangements here. He said, poor fellow is waiting there. Meantime, all the satsangis ran away from Ishar Singh's house. His wife Maya said, you have been a fool. You always been a fool. You never realized the truth. They have all gone there. Everybody has gone to satsang. And you think master will come here? I am also going. She also left. He locked himself up in that room and cried. He said, Master, what kind of friend are you? You said you are my friend. This is how you treat friends. That you promised me that you'd come here and you go on to the rich people because the rich people have better houses and better accommodation for you. Meantime, Master's car is coming back. All the satsangis are away. Master takes and stops in that lane. He says, stop the car here. Don't take it near the house. He tells, there was Shadi, his guard and driver. He says, stay in the car. I will go myself. And he gets down. This is first trip out of the dera. Don't forget this. He walks and knocks at the door. Ishar Singh is inside. He's thinking another satsangis has come to call him. And he says, go away from here. Go away. I don't want to go anywhere. And Master knocks again and says, this is Ishwar Singh. And he hears the Master's voice. He opens. Master walks in, hugs him, and both are crying. And he shuts the door. He said, Ishar Singh, you thought I will not come here? No, when I make a promise, I come. He said, I will sleep in this room. I'll use the bucket that you use upstairs. And for 3 days, Satsang was held in Ishar Singh's house, right there. When you hear this story, you can feel how masters feel. You can feel how he felt. He felt so overjoyed that he is a friend, a true friend. He is not only a master. Before this guy, Ishar Singh, died, he told me, Pachhanya nahi. We didn't recognize him. We didn't know what he was. He was more of a friend than he was a master. He was friend first and master afterwards. And I can tell you, my experience is identical with him. He is a friend first and master afterwards.